Hello and welcome to the Backpacking Podcast, brought to you by Outdoor Vitals, makers of Performance First ultralight gear. Joined today with Jamie McCracken, and a quick word from our sponsors. It is the 8th day of the 12 Days of Christmas event that Outdoor Vitals has brought you at least the last 2 years, maybe even longer. And every day they have a different deal. So if you're listening to this live on December the 10th, 2025, our current deal is the Skyline 30 Fast Pack at 18% off, up to 18% off. And get this, you get a free short sleeve altitude performance tee. And absolutely great products at Outdoor Vitals. Check them out. I'm going to link them in the description, outdoorvitals.com. Huge thank you and shout out to them. And they have a few more days of the 12 Days of Christmas. So if you're listening to this after the live recording date, you still got time to maybe squeeze in one last deal. So check them out, outdoorvitals.com. If you've seen SpongeBob before, you probably heard of the Suds, and that's what our friend John Kelly has today. So we gave him the day off, and we are joined by, actually, Jamie. I met him at the YouTuber meetup, and a longtime listener of the show. And as you can see from the subtitle under his name, Elite Athlete.
Well, and, I may have had you put that on there.
That's okay. So I like it. The self-endorsement, I think it's accurate, actually, because, you know, at the meetup, we were there, Red River Gorge, and serendipitously, we met in the parking lot, just happened to arrive at the same place, same time. And you were like, hey, I'm here for the meetup. And you apparently are a lot faster hiker than I am, because I think that you could beat me to the spot. But how you doing, man? Welcome to the show.
What an intro. Yeah, I'm doing great. The funny thing is, I saw you at the gas station, Go Time, before, about 5 minutes before there, and I was like, oh, I think that's Jeremiah. You had your hair all let down. By the time I got over to the parking lot, I was like, oh, he's got it all tied up. He's ready to go. But no, yeah, doing well. The meetup was so fun, by the way. It was such a joy to meet all of you guys. I mean, I've been listening to the Backpacking Podcast for a long time. Sad that John couldn't be there, but the main thing is I got to meet Backpacking with Jason, and that was the highlight of my weekend, and he knows that, you know.
Well, we do love Mr. Backpacking with Jason, sir. I actually got to do the Fiery Gizzard Trail with him recently, and you know, we had Jonathan Woodall Trails. You met him as well whenever we were at the meetup, and we had him, and he was kind of my resource. But after watching your videos, I was like, it never hurt to hear some other opinions on the trail, because I think for his trip on the Fiery Gizzard, he had just done a few weeks prior to whenever we went. And then you said, hey, I've done it. I've done it a couple of times. It looked like you've done it back and forth, because you kind of live in the area. And would have been great to have more info, because, bro, I don't know if you listened to the last episode that John and I done, but I told a little story of our trip.
Yeah, the way it ended was pretty interesting.
Yeah, we bookended it with poop to begin and poop to end. Yeah. And I don't know if exciting is the right word for it.
Yeah.
A little bit scary for me.
I will say you guys definitely avoided a really tough section, because it's 2 or 3 miles of just ankle breakers through it's just big boulders. It's like Rocksylvania. It's kind of like Pennsylvania. So you avoided that section. The trail is pretty difficult in and of itself, a lot of ups and downs. So, but it's good that you kind of avoided that and went up by, I think, Dog Hole or Dog Pound. It's a little bit easier to get back there.
Yeah, but if anybody missed it, the short of the story is, you know, we had done this dog bone trail instead of doing the way that we were wanting to do, and it was a good call, because we stayed after the dark. How hard are they on the rules? Like, it says no hiking after dark, no cutting anything that is standing. You have to book ahead of time where you're camping at. You know, hanging.
Yeah,
there's all these rules.
Tennessee State Park. So you were in the South Cumberland State Park. Booking the campsites, I would say, pretty strict. I've really not had to deal with any rangers or anything, and I've been to almost half of them at this point. Never really had to deal with rangers. I would say, from the cutting the wood thing, you know, just in case, probably want to be careful on that, because if you start a fire and something goes wrong, then, you know, you could have to deal with something there. But as far as hiking after dark, I mean, I don't think you'd have to worry about that.
I
You
feel
have
like
your headlamp. Like,
yeah, that's hike at your own risk. I sort of feel like, and we
yeah,
were there. It's wintertime. I looked at my watch. It was 4:15. It was already dark. You're
yeah.
like, if this was summertime, I would have taken the hard section because I would have had several more hours of daylight.
Yeah,
But
and who are you going to see out there if you're hiking at 4:15 or even at 9 o'clock p.m.? There's not a lot of people out on the trail hiking at night anyway, so it's not. I don't know who's going to stop you out there. I've hiked in the Smokies. There's a lot of places in the dark, and I've never really seen anybody doing the same.
I
So I don't
agree.
think you would ever get caught. Not that we would
Yeah,
endorse it, but
yeah, ditto, ditto. That was the main thing I was worried about was a ranger stopping you, and then they're like, "Where are you headed to?" And you already have it booked, and they're like, "Why weren't you there ahead of time?" Your excuse of lack of time management that's not our problem. Here's you a ticket. And I was
yeah,
like, I don't want a
yeah,
ticket. So
yeah. I couldn't see that happening. Couldn't see it happening.
we got quite a few people here in the comments saying hello. We got Meg. What's up, guys?
Hey, Meg,
Steve, good evening. Good to see you,
Steve.
Steve. What
He was
up?
at the meetup, right? I met Steve.
Steve Wright. Did
Steve
he
at the
have
meetup?
the who was it that had
He's a South
it was
Carolina
a
guy, right?
it was the chair underquilt that was heated. Was that Steve?
Was that Steve? I don't know because I didn't know about that piece of equipment. I may have been off hiking or something. But
We also have John's favorite name to say that I'll probably butcher. Suga Catadenza. Woot woot. What's up?
what's
Good to
up?
see you. Darwin off the rails. What up, Tramley?
I
Darwin.
did meet him.
Yeah, Darwin is awesome. I love Darwin's alter ego on here. I'm going to miss the trip. They got a trip coming up that they're going to do over at Dolly Sods, I think. And unfortunately, I cannot make it.
Same. I got invited to that trip. Who
Can't
invited
go.
me? Yeah, I can't go. I'm gonna be up. I'm gonna be in West Virginia with my family. But yeah, it's the day after Christmas, right?
I think it's the weekend after
Weekend.
Christmas.
Yeah, Richard Hamrick invited me. But,
Yeah. Yeah. And he was at the meetup as well. And I've been backpacking with him. Awesome guy. Huge
yeah,
trout fisherman, too.
yeah, good dude.
I'm not sure. Is this a joke? Maybe it's over my head. Steve Wright says, "Does Jamie have a great deal?" What does that? What does that mean?
I've heard that joke all my life. Think about it, Phil. I don't know if it's appropriate, but
Okay,
Phil, my last name. Yeah,
I got you. All right,
my crack in.
yeah. It was over my head. CLT
okay.
Chicken Little Tricks.
Oh yeah, met him, know him.
30 miles.
No, I had to do blood work. So yesterday I ran 4 miles. I wasn't even supposed to do that. Then I got these function labs today. Just it's about 119 different biomarkers they do. And so I didn't get to run, and I'm not going to run tonight either. So they ask you because it's like 16 vials of blood. They take a lot of blood. So I'm not going to be running today. So I'll be back at it tomorrow, and tomorrow I'll get to know if I got into the Chicago Marathon because I'm part of that lottery. So the race isn't until next October, but I'll get to know tomorrow. So I'll get right back to the 30 miles. Don't worry about it, Chicken Little Tricks. I got this.
Don't sell yourself short on the elite athlete because not everybody signs up for those marathons,
Yeah, it's one of the easier ones though, but it's the best chance that I've got to qualify for Boston. So that's why I want to do it because it's a really flat course, but it's still 26.2 miles. So.
Yeah, I've seen people out there. I was talking last week about that fiery gizzard.
Oh, yeah.
Every 15 to 30 seconds, man, all morning, we had to step off trail for marathon and half marathon runners. And I was thinking, I mean, even without a pack, doing 26-mile trail run through there would be, it'd kick your butt, especially the ups and downs. And if you had to do that hard part, oh my gosh.
Well, and I'm thinking through some of the ankle breaking sections. I mean, I just got done. This is actually Fall Creek Falls 100. It's the 100-miler out at Fall Creek Falls State Park. I didn't do the 100-mile. I did the 50K. It's 31 miles. But, there's sections when you're trail running that you're not really like trail running. You're just kind of hiking as fast as you can without trying to break your ankle. So I can't imagine the people out there at the Fiery Gizzard who do that every year, or the people that you guys got to see. There's some sections there that I wouldn't want to be running through.
Yeah. I agree. We also got, Let's see. Tech Redneck.
Oh
Hello
yeah,
from West Virginia. I go
that's
down.
my home state.
Yeah. You so I looked at your Instagram bio. By the way, if you're not familiar with Jamie's work, you can check out his Instagram at Jamie McCracken, I think is the name, and same on YouTube, right?
Yep, just my name.
So I saw that you have on there, you got where you currently live, which,
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken, is around the Nashville area.
yep. Live
Uh,
in Franklin, Tennessee. It's like 20 minutes south of downtown Nashville. It's really nice area.
yeah, yeah. Well, I went to school at Western, so I mean, we
Yeah,
already talked about this in person a little bit, but I went to school at Western, so that area I'm very familiar with because you're only an hour away from Nashville. So if you want to
yep.
go have a great time, that's exactly where you head, and you drive right through there.
Bowling Green. Yeah,
Yeah. Um, and then I also saw that it has Los Angeles as past places, and then
hmm
West Virginia, and there might have been a couple more.
Kentucky.
Okay, Kentucky, yeah, because you're,
Yeah,
if I remember correctly, you're Wildcat through and through.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, so grew up. I was born and raised in Clarksburg, West Virginia. It's where my mom still lives. Um, you know, went to college at West Virginia University, and then after that, I was 23 years old, moved to Kentucky. I was a sports anchor and reporter at a local TV station. Did that for 4 years, and then moved out to Los Angeles and was at TMZ, the entertainment company, working on the news desk there for 5 years. Then I moved here to Nashville, and I've been here for the last 4 years. Also, still doing video production at Ramsey Solutions with Dave Ramsey. So I've had quite a little bit of a journey there after college, but it's been a lot of fun. I like seeing it. I've been in two different places. If you think of like what Nashville is and Kentucky is compared to Los Angeles, right? So um, really unique places to live, and I felt grateful for both or the three opportunities that I've had since college because just got to meet a lot of cool people and got to do a lot of cool things, and yeah, it's fun.
well, let me ask you a little about Los Angeles, and I assume that if you look on your YouTube, you've been to a ton of different places, everywhere from Arizona, Utah, Kentucky, Tennessee. Um, all over the place. When you were living out in California, is that when you hit most of those places out west?
Yeah. So, about I guess 8 years ago now. When I moved out to California, that's when I hit most places in the West. Now, at the same time, since I moved to Nashville, on a yearly basis, like this year, I went to Utah and Arizona. So, next year, I'm going to Oregon and Washington and Colorado. I'm hitting those three. So, I try to take 2 to 3 trips back to California, Oregon, the West Coast or the West in general, because I love that hiking so much. It's vast, where it's not as much of a green tunnel. So while I did knock out a ton of trails and things like that out there while I was out there, I still find myself taking 2 to 5 trips per year to get back out there and do some big backpacking trips or day hiking trips and stuff like that. So I love the West. I sometimes I'm like, maybe I should go back, but there's positives and negatives to every place you live. So Los Angeles is not perfect. Nashville is not perfect. Kentucky is not perfect. But seize the opportunity. Wherever I am, I'm gonna eat it up. Like I've been to half the state parks here. I've done 3 trips to the Smokies this year. Usually just do an annual one, but I still find myself always wanting to go back out west because I love the hiking out there. So
Yeah, it's like a different world out west.
yeah,
You
it
know,
looks like Mars. Like there's just a lot of just open space and alpine lakes and desert. I love the desert. I went to Canyonlands this year and did a really cool backpacking trip out there where I was climbing just up and down these. It wasn't even hiking. I'm carrying this pack and I'm kind of just bouldering, basically like class 2, 3 bouldering up and down. It's just the most fun that I've had on a backpacking trip. And it was a 30-mile trip and I did it it was like 3 night, 4 days. Took my time, but it was hard because you're going like this most of the time, just climbing up, climbing down, climbing up, climbing down. A lot of fun though. And it's hard
did
to
you?
find water.
Well, I didn't see the video on that. I saw your most recent trip. It looked like you caught it basically peak foliage on the fall there and hit the Smokies. It looked like y'all
Yeah.
done a loop. Your buddy's name, was it Josh or John?
John. Yep.
John. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like y'all had a great time on that. And just a little preview, if you do check out some of Jamie's content, Love the shots. I bet you hike double walking back and forth. Camera up. I like the bloopers at the end too. You get to see a little sneak peek behind the scenes.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
That was a really special trip. So no matter what, every year since I've been to Tennessee, I kind of did this with California, where I'd always go up to the Sierras, Yosemite, Sequoia. Here, I'm like, well, what's the nicest thing around me? I haven't been to Big South Fork yet, but the Smokies. So every fall, around the third week of fall, I go out there. It's peak season. The color, you're just hiking under canopy of reds and yellows and oranges. So beautiful. I was lucky enough, though, to go back a couple of times before that, where it was still green before it changed. But took John with me. He loved it. That was actually his first backpacking trip. So he's done a lot of camping and stuff like that, but he loved it. And I was super thrilled that he was out there and really enjoyed it with me. Yeah, I forget.
That'll take you, or that if you like just done camping and then you get somebody to introduce you to backpacking,
Yeah.
it gives you a mindset shift on, and I know you're all about the minimalism, but it is like the definition of minimalism. You go from being able to bring anything you want in your car and you could like leave at any time to, oh, I have to carry it all. And if I want to leave, it could be a long way out. So you really got to be prepared. What did he think about the shift in that?
Yeah, I think one of the most beautiful things that him and I talked about this, so I kind of speak for him on this, is like, like you said, carrying everything on your back, it's work. It's work, but yet it's peaceful. And then you come back to reality, because we both actually work together. He's a cinematographer. I'm a producer at the place we work. So we come back to work, and we have great jobs. We are not, stressed or anything like that. Thank goodness we have awesome jobs, and we're treated really, really well. But you realize, like, how much more chaos you got going on. Whether, if you're married, you have kids, or, you got to, I got to log on and pay my internet bill, or, there's all these things that are going on, or I want to watch the game tonight and stuff, where you're out there and you're just surviving and enjoying the views. You're bored in a good way. And I think like these things, they take us away from so much of that. And it's so nice when you're just out there. I don't have any of that. Maybe a downloaded offline map, take a book with me. And for the most part, though, we're getting in pretty big miles. And so you're hiking most of the day, but then you're worn out. Something about that meal and all those things. That's what he was telling me. I was like, he loved that part. The other thing he said is kind of a surprise, is it was a little wet. We didn't deal with any rain, but he was used to just being able to start a fire like that. And it took him a little bit of time to get the fires going each night. And I was like, well, this is a bonus, because most of the time I'm not even starting a fire. I'm just out here. I'm doing like 20-mile days, and I'm dead at camp and I'm ready to go to bed. So you never see fires in my video, but this one, we had some nice ambient, sound and fire going. It was really, really nice.
Well, speaking of really nice, we got some nice comments over here. A couple of them about the Chicago Marathon that hopefully you get the selection for. Let's see. This was Steve. Oh, by the way, Steve said he wasn't able to make the meetup. Said he went to the Chicago Marathon to root on a friend of his for the first marathon, and saw the future Pope give mass too. That's pretty cool.
That's really neat.
Pope is he's a fan of one of the baseball teams up there.
White Sox. I think it's the White Sox, not the Cubs.
Yeah, I'm not Catholic, so I don't keep up much with the Pope situation. But of course, you can't miss it whenever it's in the news and the new Pope comes in and stuff. But yeah, I saw that. And also from the comments, I got a question here from David Cooper. Good to see you, David. Longtime listener of the show.
Oh.
Little Tennessee boy from Murfreesboro, and he's wanting to know, have either of you all been to Virgin Falls State Natural Area in Tennessee? I have never even heard of it. Have you been there?
So, not even kidding. That is probably going to happen for me this Sunday when it's 28 degrees. I've already got I was looking at it today because I've not been there. I wanted to backpack it, but then I'm like, I think I can do this in a day hike. It's just an 8-mile trail. But I've not been there. I can't wait. It's a beautiful waterfall, Jeremiah. It's like at least 100 foot tall. It's massive.
Well, I don't know what part of Tennessee it is located relative to me.
It's toward the Smokies near Cookville, but it's not all the way in the Smokies. So it's pretty east, but.
So we passed by there on the way going to Fiery Gizzard, I would assume, because we hit Cookville, or we went right around it and then down toward Chattanooga.
Yeah. So you continued on south. So it's a little bit, it's right below Cookville and a little bit more east, about 20, 30 minutes east of that. But
Okay.
yeah, it's got Virgin Falls is the big waterfall. They have other waterfalls there, but Virgin Falls, I think they're. He said it was a state natural area. It is right now, but I believe in my recent Tennessee magazine, they are making that an official state park. I believe in effect next year. So
Oh,
it's a really beautiful area. We have a lot of Jeremiah. We have a lot. You might be curious of that. We have a lot of like. I didn't know this till I came here. I was like, oh, state parks, but they also have these state natural areas. So I have a video on this, but there's one called Coditz Falls or something like that. There's a lot of these state natural areas that just have these kind of remote waterfalls, and usually 2 or 3 mile hikes. Are not, super hard or anything, but they're in really remote places of Tennessee that a population like 15. And I find the state natural areas more beautiful than some of the state parks, to be honest.
probably a little less loved would be a good way of putting it.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good point. Kind of like our national forest. A lot of people go to national parks, and then you go to like Sipsey National Wilderness or whatever down in Alabama, and you're like, wow, this is so rugged and beautiful, but you never hear about it. Kind of, I mean, Red River Gorge. A lot of people, Daniel Boone National Forest. People may have heard of the Natural Bridge, but you go to Daniel Boone, you realize like this place is huge. There's a lot of stuff to explore here.
Now, is Big South Fork, that's a national recreation area. Is that different than what you're talking about? The
Yes,
natural.
Yeah, it's different. So yeah, what you said, like Big South Fork, it's a natural, and I don't know the difference in all these, but the state natural areas that I've been to tend to be really small, just very small pieces of land. So compared to state parks that are a little bit bigger, from my experience.
Yeah, when we went and done that Fiery Gizzard a couple weeks ago, I was thinking this is like just a narrow strip of land, but as I was reading about it, it said that it was private property and they had donated it to make it a state park. And I was just thinking, imagine if this was your property and this is your backyard, and then you're just like, I'm going to give it away. And the beauty, the ruggedness, the remoteness.
Yeah.
I was just like, I was so surprised, but also so thankful at the same time, because think about how many thousands or tens of thousands of people will get to enjoy that area that never would even saw it.
And think about how much work. I'm pretty sure the people who sold it, they also continued to do all the hard work. You've been out there now at the Fiery Gizzard. The trail, at times it's a very rugged trail. I know up by Ravens Point it's pretty smooth up in there, but the trail maintenance to keep that thing the way it is, like the rocks and the divots and all the different things, like it's got to be a difficult trail to maintain over the years. And I know I've seen how they've even made that a trail. It's wild.
Yeah, built some nice bridges too. And by the way, Steve says you can put the name on the front of your shirt, and when you run the Chicago Marathon, people can cheer for you.
Oh yeah. That'd be great. I have like this Zoot belt in triathlon. They give you like a belt, and then you put your little tag on there. A lot of people like pin it to their thing, but yeah, I could do that.
I've only done the 5Ks myself. And they give you, you get.
Jeremy, I'm going to get you on at least a half marathon one day. You and I.
Now, I could walk it. I don't know about running it. My times are slow. I think my fastest time on a 5K was like 28 minutes or something.
That's fine. We'll get you going.
Also, compliments from Chicken Little Trek CLT. He says that your videography and production skills are absolute fire, and I couldn't agree more, man. The shots that you get and your editing skills, channel's going to continue to grow, man. We're excited to push more traffic to it because you deserve it.
Thank you, Jeremiah, and I appreciate that from Chicken Little. He actually DM'd me the other night. That's honestly, you know this from doing YouTube back in the day when you actually did it, Jeremiah. I know you're semi-retired with the baby and all that, but but you know how it is. when you get feedback like that, and the channel is growing, which is so cool. Like it took me forever to get like the 1,000 subscribers, and like it seems like the next 1,000 goes quicker and all those things. But the feedback from people I don't even know, it's so rewarding. I always make sure I comment back to everyone, and it means a lot. Like seriously, I put in a lot of work, but also I do it because I love it. So even if I didn't get any comments, I don't, whatever. They're really for my memories. But the more I've done this, it's so rewarding to feel seen by your work. So that's really nice. Thank you to both of you.
Yeah, Dave, Stone Dave Adventures. Hey, Jens, good to hear from you. Dave, nice to see you. Let's see. There's something else I want to ask you about. I'm seeing if there's any other comments I want to pull up at the moment. Now, I think I'm going to let the comments keep rolling in while we talk here. we mentioned about you living out west, and I'm wondering what what's the he's older now. I'd say he's in his 70s, but he's like the head guy at TMZ, and I assume that he was your highest up, and you were working under him. Is it
Yes,
Harry or
it's
something?
Harvey Levin.
Oh, I was close. Harry
Yeah,
Harvey. Okay.
and you're gonna be
So
shocked by this, but he's I think almost in his mid 70s, and he looks insane. Like he looks 30.
I agree. Yeah, they
Yeah.
and I don't know how true this is. I don't know if it's just an LA thing or if you just got to have a ton of money to do it. I seen Simon Cowell talking about it. And then there's some guy that Joe Rogan had on his podcast a long time ago. And they're basically like trying to de-age people.
Yeah,
Death comes for us all. Death and taxes, right? Those are the only two guarantees in life.
yeah,
And they're like de-aging these people. Have you seen this? They like
yeah.
filter blood and put it back in.
Yeah, well, like stem cell injection and stuff. So from what I know is they pull the stem cells out, they spin the blood, and they inject it back in you. And I don't know if it's like a month later, 2 months later. I think it's actually years later. But you want to, if you can get it when you're young, like whatever, 35, it can be 50. They can spin that same blood back into you when you're 70 or whatever, and that keeps you not just looking young, but also it keeps you vibrant. You're able to, for instance, I'll give you an example. Harvey would come in at and he still does this to this day that I know, but he'd come in at he's the first person in 4:30, 5:30 in the morning. But he would go swim. I don't know how long, but he would go swim at least for an hour. And I'm like, my goodness, every morning. So to be able to keep your body in that good of shape at 70 years old, that's pretty. That's what I hope for myself. I don't know about you, Jeremiah. Like just to be able to move. I don't even care about the how quick I am or anything like that. I think that's great. But yeah, I think it's stem cell injection or whatever is what you're talking about.
They're doing the stem cells, and also I know Mr. Backpack with Jason, sir. He has a wrist injury, and they have been doing. He told me it's plasma injections. So when I was in college, I was broke, I was poor. I was donating plasma. You know how much they pay you to donate plasma, or at least this was in 2012, 2013.
Okay, I was gonna say, do they pay you like $100 now? But I don't know, $20.
Well, whenever I done it, this was in Bowling Green, Kentucky, 2011 to 2015 kind of time range was my college years undergrad. And basically you go in, you sign up, they ask you some questions. Most of them are making sure that you don't have some kind of STD or something. I think they're, it's blood. They're super worried about AIDS, of course.
Yeah.
So, they do that. They run a couple little tests with your blood, and then they say your first appearance donating plasma, you get $50. And if you never donate plasma, you sit in a chair. They take your blood just like a normal blood donation that you do with American Red Cross or whoever does it, and then they put it in a machine and it spins it. It takes out the plasma, which is like the liquid part, is my understanding. I'm no scientist here. And then they put red blood cells back in. So you don't actually lose pints of blood, but they take multiple pints out. And then apparently, by the way, that's $50 first time, $50 the second time. And then you have to wait 24 hours in between any session. So if you come on a Monday, you can't come back to Wednesday. And then if after your first two visits of getting 50 and 50, every visit after that, let's say you start a new week, the first visit you get 20, 24 hours, then you get 30.
So in other words, you decrease you decrease in value. You depreciate.
Yeah, they're trying to get you in the door those first 2 miles. And they said we give these to burn victims, to repair the injuries. And they also do a lot of testing with the plasma. I think, they're selling it. Otherwise, there's no profit incentive to even get you in the door.
Right. Yeah. I've never done the plasma donation. And I'm sure there's some kind of anti-aging thing there with plasma. My thing is a lot of that stuff obviously you're getting paid to donate the plasma, but going back to stem cell injection, all that, a lot of this stuff costs a lot of money. And we're not talking thousands, we're talking tens of thousands of dollars to do. So, I know a lot of celebrities and so they do a lot of things that, they're able to do because they can afford that. I think the big thing though, not to steer us off the topic, but
Yeah, sure.
if you, I tell people this a lot of times, how do you have so much energy? I'm almost, we're almost the same age, Jeremy. I'm going to turn 36 in February. I know you're younger than that, but we're in our 30s, and it's like, I think the more you take care of your body, and that doesn't mean you have to go run 26 miles. If I know Chicken Little Truck's always, did you get your 30 miles in today? But right now, I consider this like my off season. I run a few miles a day and stuff and whatever, and it adds up to 20 miles in a week and stuff. That's easy for me. But one of the things that I like to do to take care of myself is just what you're putting into your body. That's like,
True.
I'm not able to do the things that I love to do without taking care of my body. And I've learned so much behind, food and movement and stuff like that, and just high quality food. And I've learned a lot of different things through people I've met. For instance, I know a lot of people are like, how do you recover and stuff? And there's things that you can do that a lot of people, eat protein and all this stuff. But there are special things I learned about, like L-carnitine, which is found in supplement form that repairs the joints better than any collagen you can find on the market. So I've learned so many different things to repair the body and stuff. And I think if you take care of your body, and it's not that expensive, right? Like, you're not having to do some crazy thing. You're just taking a powder or a drink and stuff like that. Learning how to recover has been a huge deal to keep, doing the things that I love to do.
Well, let's ruffle a few feathers here. Usually I leave this to John. Usually I steer clear of ruffling feathers. But I don't know if it's a TikTok that's reposted on Instagram or YouTube short or what, but it is one of these short form content videos, maybe on X, formerly known as Twitter. Mm-hmm. It was this lady, I don't know if it was a TED Talk or what, but she was talking about the worst thing that you could drink that poisons your body. And it wasn't alcohol, and by the way, booze is on the decline. I think it's down like 70%, especially, as young people, like our generation, start to get older. I think we're buying less and less alcohol because we're like, well, recovery's important. We're not going to live forever. And I'm literally poisoning myself. So if you're drinking like a 6-pack of beer a day, not to call anybody out, that's not even the ruffle the feathers part. That is a lot of inflammation that you're adding to your body, and it may be able to take it.
Everything, Jeremiah, stems from inflammation. Like, I'm not scientist or doctor, but as a person who does a lot of, this, everything is inflammation. Strep throat, sore joints, whatever, all of that stuff, your body is inflamed. The more you can decrease that through massage, chiropractor therapy, there's all kinds of things you could do, food and all that. But go ahead. I don't want to interrupt.
Oh, you're good. Well, she was basically like, it's the diet drinks. And I stopped drinking soda in 2010, I believe it was. So we're at the 15-year mark. I might have a ginger ale if my tummy's upset and I'm taking a flight, or if somebody makes a punch at Christmas time or Halloween or something, it's got Sprite in it. I'm not going to relapse on soda because I've had some punch that has, Sprite in it. But I shedded weight super quick after stopping drinking soda. I'd lost like 40 pounds, in less than a year. Yeah. And, not to call out my wife, she was a big fan of the diet Coca-Cola or, Diet Pepsi or what have you. I don't know if it's better than the regular, but it tasted a little bit chemically to me, having the, what's the name of the sweetener that's in
aspartame?
Yeah.
Aspartame?
Is it aspartame
or aspartame?
However you say it, I don't know. But that stuff must create some inflammation too. And the there's preservatives in everything that we're eating. But if you eat like actual produce instead of canned, like get raw green beans at the store instead of canned green beans, those are small changes that don't add too much to the grocery budget that would make you feel a lot better. That's just what we've been trying to do.
Oh, 100%. And my thing is, you budget, Jeremiah. We talked about budgeting during our meetup and stuff.
I'm done Dave Ramsey stuff.
I look at my budget and I go, you know what? A lot of people invest in different. I love my actual investment and all that, but the big thing is I will invest into my food. I will put an extra $100 to make sure I get the right thing. Not even more, just if it has to be organic or if it has to be a certain product. Like I love this this cherry juice that I get, liquid organic tart cherry juice. Really good for you, but really expensive. But it's great for recovery. I have found it vital for those kind of things to recover and stuff. So I will make sure I'm going to invest into my body, invest in that longevity. It's a huge deal. And with the diet drinks, like a lot of times, if you look at just ingredients in general, obviously with produce, you get a green pepper, you get a green pepper. But even that could be, that could be sprayed with something, which is, it's unfortunate, like how our food, um, has kind of,
Mass
yeah,
farming with the
yeah.
fertilizers and
The pesticides and stuff. It's hard, and you can eliminate some of that with certain things. Like I do a lot of you put the stuff in baking soda, and that'll get rid of
oh,
pesticides
really?
and stuff like that. Yeah. So you don't want to do vinegar and baking soda because that doesn't do anything. The baking soda, I think it like eliminates the acidity or whatever from it, but you have to keep it in there for like 20 minutes. So it's if
It's
you're
kind of a pain.
yeah. So
That's
but
worse than when you had to wipe off your groceries during COVID. You remember
yeah,
that?
yes. But it mitigates it some. I don't know. I mean, we're lucky enough here in Franklin, Tennessee. We have two really great farmers markets, and we have a lot of land around here, right? So there's so many people, local farmers that have grass-fed, grass-finished beef, and they grow their own potatoes and stuff like that. There's people that put on the local Facebook pages like, "Hey, I have a little stand today and got raw honey," and it's kind of a
Yeah.
luxury to have that.
We have where I live in Kentucky, it's like semi-rural. I don't know if you call
Mhm.
it actually rural, but there's always farmers markets. It might be a Wednesday, Friday, or maybe on the
Yeah.
weekends or whatever. But those are opportunities to support, your local economy and
Hmm.
your community, and hopefully skip some of the pesticides and fertilizers. Because if you look
Yes.
at the science behind it, we are depleting the soil so much. And again, I'm no scientist, so
Hmm.
y'all can fact check anything you want. I'm not claiming
Yeah.
to be a genius on any of this. I'm just repeating what I've heard and think may be true. So we are depleting our soil so much that we're having to, basically pound nitrate into the soil in order to make it fertile enough for things to grow. And you're eventually going to reach a breaking point where you've used up everything that you can for that land for an
Yeah.
extended period of time.
Yeah. Yeah. It's unfortunate, but also the population keeps growing. And I don't know. I
Got
don't
to
know how
feed
you,
them.
you got to feed them somehow.
A couple of comments to show you here, by the way. We got, let's see, what is Jamie's YouTube channel? It's Jamie McCracken, same as his name. If you're
Yep.
seeing it on screen, Chicken Little says refined sugar is one of the worst things that you can put into your body because it creates a lot of inflammation. Totally agree.
Mm-hmm.
Also, he said donating plasma is a great side hustle for the baby steps. He mentioned Dave Ramsey there.
Hey, we've had people call into the show and say, I've heard it all. Besides, sell cars, sell this, sell that, donate plasma, drive DoorDash. There's a million things you could do. That's one of them.
Yeah, I agree. I
I don't
agree.
think I don't think Jeremiah was donating plasma though back in the day. I think he was using that money for other things in college.
I'll tell you what I was using it for. Just to keep it real, I was driving a 97 Ford Ranger, 200,000 miles on it, and it broke down. And I was so broke. The fix was like $400, $500. And I took it to a local automotive shop just a mile away from campus. And I was like, hey, I need this fixed. He fixed it for me. Everything was great. And I said, I can't afford to pay you. Can we do payment plans? And he said, yes. And I said, okay, I'll be back Friday with $50. And I came every week. And I remember I still had probably a couple $100 left on my tab there. And the guy was so
Oh
nice.
man.
He said, you owe this much still. And I said, well, look, I'm headed home for Christmas break. In college, you get out earlier than just like public school. Our
Yeah.
last day, I'm a public school teacher for those that don't know, and our last day of work is like you got Christmas week, whatever the week before is, you're off that week as well. And then
Yeah.
you go back the first opportunity after January 1st.
Mm-hmm.
So luckily, that's January like 5th or 6th for me this year. So
Yeah,
I
same.
get an extra day.
We got like a couple weeks off. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited about it too. But he said, so you're going home for Christmas break? I said, yes. Is it possible to pay you when I get back? And he said, you know what? You've been truthful, honest. You pay me every week like you said. Don't worry about doing any more. I'll wipe the rest of your tab off.
Ah, Merry Christmas.
Yeah, that's what he said. Merry Christmas. Go home, be with your family. Don't think about money. And I was so grateful because, you know, $400 whenever you got no money and you're trying to work your way through college and like not go into debt.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
That's a good story, Jeremiah. We do a giving show every year. It's already passed because we do it during Thanksgiving. That's a really good giving story, and wow, yeah, that's great.
I never have done my debt-free scream. We became debt-free.
Come on down.
For those that don't know, Dave Ramsey, he's like this some people call him financial guru. There's mixed feelings. No offense. I know you work for him.
No, I know.
Some people like the stuff he says, some don't. But he's got these steps that are basically supposed to get you from being broke and in debt to being able to give like nobody else. Yeah. And there's 7 steps. And once you become debt-free, you could apply. I assume you apply. You can fly and be on the show and do your debt-free screen.
Jeremiah, no joke. Last night, I get on Facebook, go to memories. I had forgotten. I knew this was my 10-year anniversary of being debt-free. But I forgot when I actually did my debt-free screen because technically it was November 2015 when I paid off my student loans. And I get on Facebook memories. I'm watching. It was after the Kentucky game. I saw I go, oh, there's a picture. It was me and Dave like high-fiving back in 2015 when I was still in Kentucky working. Like I wasn't, I've only worked here for 4 years. And I was like, oh my gosh, it was a decade yesterday that I did my debt-free screen. That's on YouTube too, actually. Yeah. If you type in Jamie does his debt-free screen, you'll see it. Although I cry, so I don't recommend watching it. You can come down there anytime if you want to. I'll give you a tour.
Wow, that sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
We not to get too deep in the weeds on the Dave Ramsey stuff, but we were introduced by my wife's aunt and uncle, and they had taught the Financial Peace University, and now they're multimillionaires. And we're nowhere even close to that. We're just both public school teachers, but he's got a lot of good advice. I'm not sure I agree with absolutely every tenet that he.
We had a good discussion during the meetup. I loved it.
Yeah. So, we won't go too deep in the weeds.
No.
Yeah. I would encourage anybody that's got financial questions. That would be a good start, a good lead. Yeah. And circling back to something that we said earlier, Ruben, he said, first time he's been able to join a live show in a while, but be careful chasing all the snake oil health trends. Do your proper research, and you could get shocked at how misled that you can be. I totally agree. You know how many people has the magic solution out there that they're selling? Yeah,
there's so much money in influence right now. So much money. Like influencer, you can become an influencer. I could start doing that. Anybody can start doing it. So I totally agree with that. Do your own research.
My initial thought whenever I lost all this weight, I used to be around 300 pounds. This morning, I weighed around 215. So nice.
Beautiful.
At the lowest, it was over 100 I'd lost. And, your initial thoughts are, how easy it would be to sell your results to a company that has a diet pill or a workout regimen. I mean, I went from being, 30% body fat to having a 6-pack abs. And I was like, it would be so easy and just to be totally deceptive, if you didn't have any moral compass, you could easily be like, yeah, you give me a couple $1,000s. I've no problem coming on and talking about how great your products are and how it helped me lose this weight. And it's great.
It's a crazy world we live in because you really can your phone can create all kinds of content behind something that isn't even true. I don't know if you've done this, Jeremy. I kind of sometimes use my body as that test field because I'm like, well, I've heard this thing. I'm going to test it. I'll give a thing 30 to 90 days and test it out. And there have been things, most of the things though that I do, I would research before, and most of it actually has improved the quality of life and stuff. But I definitely agree with that comment though, because there's a lot of stuff where I'm like, that's not even. There's no way. It's not true.
Yeah, you can be deceived very
Yes.
easily. A little bit of here. We talked about this. I was donating plasma, but cost right. I used to donate my brain by sitting in an MRI for hours.
It sounds like you had a lot of concussions.
Yeah, I have a new fear unlocked. This is spoiler alert. If anybody hasn't seen the new Final Destination and they're interested in watching it, spoiler alert. Fast forward to 60 seconds. We had a Halloween party for it was Final Destination themed. So on we have like basically a theater set up in the basement den with a projector and all this. And we had like a compilation of all the deaths in Final Destination. And for those that haven't seen it, the basic plots of the movie are somebody has this vision of all these people dying, these mass casualties, and then they die in the same order that they would have died. But a few people escape because the person had a vision and they're like, hey, we need to get off this bus or get off this plane or get out of this car crash. And so my new fear that was unlocked was the MRI machine because one of the scenes, have you seen it?
No, I haven't seen it. No. You can spoil it though.
Okay, good. I was going to ask if I could spoil it.
Yeah.
In the new one, a couple of the characters in there, they die in the MRI room because if you don't know, MRI is basically like a giant electromagnet magnet. So when they flip that switch,
you're this close to the wall. You're like,
well, also anything metal in there, like if you were wearing a necklace and forgot to take it off, it's going to like rip that off of you. So one of the scenes, there's like, if I remember correctly, a wheelchair. So the MRI machine gets turned on accidentally. There's still two guys in there that are main characters. And the wheelchair basically stuffs this guy, breaks his body in half. It is very, very graphic. I won't go into detail. We're a family-friendly show here. But, both of them die in that one scene because of all the metal that's getting pulled into the MRI machine. So now that's my new fear. I've never had an MRI. I see the machine. It's like boom, 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 and it's circling around you. And I guess you got to do you have to take some kind of oral thing before you?
Yeah, I think it's like iodine or something, right?
It's either MRI or a different test. You got to drink something before it so that they can see everything during the test. But
yeah, I think I froze. Did I freeze?
You look good on my screen.
Okay, I froze on my end. Okay, well, that's fine. I can see you fine.
Yeah, I was actually freezing up a little bit. For those that don't know, a little behind the scenes, John has hosted the show over and over and over, and we've used this new program a few times, and we're starting to figure it out, but this is my first time using it, so if we do have any technical difficulties, bear with us here. But let's see, what else did I have? I had one more comment to show you. Oh, it was Dave Cooper. I grew up listening to the Money Game radio in the 90s. A little bit before my time. I don't remember it. Do you?
Yeah, I mean, Dave talks about that all the time. So Dave went bankrupt, I think it's like 88, 89 or something like that. And I think he was on the Money Game, and that's how he started his own show or something. I forget the whole history about that, but he talks about it at staff meeting with us at times. So
I got you. I wonder, how does he justify if he's filing bankruptcy? Is it like I've lived through it, so I'm able to teach it?
Well, so I do know the story behind that. So he was, filing bankruptcy, had 2 kids and a baby on the way or something like that. I think that was his daughter, Rachel, who's a personality now. And I think he always talks about like, I met God found God, met God on the way up, found God on the way down, or whatever. And so I think his idea was I'm going to, teach people how to not screw up because I screwed up the wrong way. So I'm never going to take out debt ever again. I'm not going to, he was in real estate and he was in over his head and all of that. And so he basically had to, pull himself out of that. And so he's like, what better way till now to start teaching this? So he would teach FPU, which you talked about earlier, in churches. And that's how it kind of became a thing. Like the whole Ramsey Solutions thing, it became what it is today because of FPU and him teaching it in churches and stuff. And he was like just teaching it, I think, for free. Like it wasn't a course or anything. It was just a projector and him showing people how to do these steps. Like first thing, save up this much money. Second thing, knock out every single debt. What he does today. So,
okay. Yeah, I could see the justification.
Yeah.
And then, circling back one more time to growing your own organic vegetables. If you got the time, I honestly, I think even if you do like raised beds, have you ever grown your own garden? I assume not. You're kind of a little bit nomadic, it seems sometimes. And, you've lived in LA, lived in Kentucky, Tennessee, all these different places. I have buddies that have grown their own vegetables, and here's what they tell me. They say, you know, I've grown my own stuff, and oh, here we go. You rejoining?
Yeah, I don't know why I got knocked off. It said memory or something, but we're good.
Let's see. Okay, I think I got you now. So I was basically saying I grew up, or not I grew up. Steve Wright says he grew up doing organic vegetables. And some of my buddies that have done growing their own gardens have said you really got to be deep into it as a hobby for it to pay off for you, because you invest so much time. Yeah. And if you don't have a green thumb, your stuff could die. So it's going to take experience before you know the ins and outs on even how to follow through on the actions you should take. And it costs you money. Have you ever done like a raised bed garden or anything like that?
When my dad was alive, and my mom and dad would do that. When I lost my dad when I was like 13 years old, so I knew it growing up as a kid. We always had gardens in the backyard and stuff. They would do all that, and it was a lot of work. We never sold it or anything; it was just for the family, but it was a lot of work.
Yeah, and like Chicken Little says in the comments, his raised beds did awful this year. Sometimes you try to do everything right, and then they just die, or a frost comes and kills it, and they weren't covered up, or what have you.
Not enough rain, too much rain that you got to fool with it. It's like there's a lot that goes into the garden.
Wrong on the water. That's that's rain. There's a million things that can go wrong. So I am actually really interested in making that one of my hobbies, but you can only have so many hobbies. If you I wear all these hats, just like I'm sure you wear a lot of hats, dad, husband, teacher, backpacker, content creator, and you can only do so many things if you're going to have balance in life. And so something's got to give. I am interested in trying.
Yeah. I think about that all the time. Like I'm pretty free. There's no kids, no wife or anything. So I'm like, you're right. You only have so much time. I feel like I don't have any of these things, but I still don't have enough time to do everything I want to do. So
yeah.
I wish. It's like if you picked up gardening, Jeremiah, you would have to probably put away backpacking for a little bit to do during the summer. It could be a good summer thing though in Kentucky because it's so hot.
You know? Last summer I stuck a lot to the lake doing the kayaking and all that. And then we tried to squeeze in as much as we could before the baby was born. Of course, we'd done the Camino and then do a lot of local hiking.
I gotta this is something I didn't tell you. We kind of talked before the show, but about what we might talk about. But I want to bring up something because I know you guys have mentioned this on the show, and I wanted to ask if you had any questions because I did the Havasu Pi hike last year. Havasu Pi is in the western side of the Grand Canyon. It's that blue waterfall, and there's multiple blue waterfalls. You guys have talked about it on the show.
How do you spell that? I'm going to Google it and look at pictures while you're talking about it.
Yeah, it's called Havasu Pi, so Hava, Hava, and it's all one word, Hava, and then Supai is Supai. Havasu Pi Indian Reservation. It's in the Grand Canyon. You've seen this before. You've talked about it on the show.
Yeah.
And when you guys were talking about it, I want to come on and be like, I can tell you all the info. So I'm actually thinking about doing that, running it back next year because, Jeremiah, I have never had so much fun on a backpacking trip. And here's why. Well, so much of my backpacking, before I came to your meetup or our meetup, whatever we want to say, the meetup that you guys had, I was so used to doing a lot of backpacking by myself. And that's what I enjoy the most because, shooting the videos and all that, it's a lot of work. And I don't want to put that on a lot of, people when I'm doing those kind of things, at least for the videos that I create. But so I'm doing all these miles and stuff with Havasu Pi. What I loved about that, it was one of those treks where you hike down into the Grand Canyon. It's all down, and flat, and down. It's 12 miles, and then you set up your camp. That's your base camp for the week. And if you want a better camp near the Havasu Creek or somewhere, because the camps are beautiful, you set up your camp, and then you have Havasu Pi Falls, you have Mooney Falls, you have Beaver Falls. You can hike all the way down to the confluence where the Colorado River and the Havasu River meet. And the Havasu is that beautiful turquoise blue that you see probably in the pictures. And of course, you got the murky, Colorado. So it's like a vacation to me, because you get down there, all the hiking's pretty easy. You climb down Mooney Falls, the ladder. It's pretty crazy, honestly. I did a video on that last year, but it's a beautiful place. So what I was going to say was, because I think you mentioned this is probably 6 to 8 months ago on the show, is the permits are really, really expensive. Yeah, that's it right there. So that first one up there, that's Havasu. That's Havasu. The one beside it is Beaver. Yeah, that one's Beaver. And then the one bottom right, that is Mooney Falls, I believe. Or no, sorry, one right beside it is Mooney Falls. Yeah, that one. That's Mooney Falls. Yeah, man. So Jeremiah, it is, you can have your food down there. You can, it's sandy and all that. I just love it. You're not carrying a bunch of weight. Now, you have to hike back out in 4 days. They give you a permit. It's $475. So it's really expensive. And of course, I flew into Phoenix. You can fly into Vegas or Phoenix. You drive up, and then, obviously you probably have rented a car, so that's an expense. And then you're parking your car for 3 nights. And so it's an expensive trip. I'm not going to lie. But if you're ever going to spend $1,000 to $1,500 on a backpacking trip to fly out somewhere west, I could not recommend that place more. You have to apply for the permit. I think it's in February, but there's a lot of people who drop permits off too. And the best time to go though is April, May, or June, because it can get really hot. I went in May of last year, and the point of me saying all this is, like, I wanted to recommend that to you, because you guys talked about that about 6 or 8 months ago. We didn't get a chance to talk about the meetup, but I would love, if you ever want to go out there, I'd love to go back. I'm thinking about doing it next year. The point is, you can swim in all of those, and the water stays like 70 degrees the entire time. And you're in an Indian reservation. There are people who live down in the Havasu tribe, lives down in there. It's fascinating. They helicopter everything in. It's really neat.
I'm reading some of the key aspects on, I guess it's Google's AI is what generates this. It's got the location, the people, and the attractions. 5 major waterfalls: Navajo, 50-foot, Havasu, Mooney, Beaver Falls.
And Hidden Falls too. There's a Hidden Falls too.
Oh, I didn't even see that one.
Yeah,
10-mile one way.
Yeah. It's really about 12 miles. So it's 10 miles down to the village, where you'll see the homes, and they've got a little church down there and stuff. And then it's anywhere from 1 to 1.5 miles of campsites. So you'll get down there. There's Havasu Pie Falls, that main one that you see. And you'll hike down in there, and that's where the camps start. And you don't have to reserve anything. The permit, it's first come, first serve. So you can go anywhere across the creek. Like, I found a freaking awesome spot. About halfway down to Mooney Falls. So you got Havasu Pie and Mooney Falls, 2 main waterfalls. That's where all the camping is. And if you go across the creek, there's several places that you can camp. I mean, you can camp anywhere down in there. There's no, they got privies down there too. So they got bathrooms and stuff, to use, and picnic tables at some. And
I would love to. It'd be fun to take the whole fam out there.
Oh, once the little one gets big, I mean, like, I know Bridget would love it. Literally, you get down there, you can swim. You don't even have to hike if you don't want to. You don't have to go down to Mooney Falls. You're going to want to go to Mooney Falls, because when you see it from above, you're like, and the whole ladder system. You go through a cave, and it's straight down. It's kind of wild. They have chains. It's really intense. But then once you get down there, you can hike out to Beaver Falls and the confluence. But Navajo and 50-foot. They were before Havasu Pie and all of that. But the camping's fantastic.
You have a video of this on your YouTube?
Yeah, I have a video of it. It's, just type in Havasu Pie on the channel, and it should come up. I don't know what I named it. I think I just said, like, hiking in Havasu Pie Indian Reservation, something like that. You'll see the blue waterfall.
4 days backpacking in Havasu Pie Indian Reservation.
Yes.
Yeah, about a year ago.
Yeah, and I know most of my videos are a little long, but I do that kind of on purpose. But you should scrub through that and check it out. Even if it's 4 or 5 years from now, Jeremiah, love to do it. I think you would love it. It's just fun. Swim.
I've only done like one out west. You fly out there trip. It gets pretty pricey, like you said, because like we flew into Denver, and that ticket, you're talking about a few $100 probably. Plus you got to check luggage and all this backpacking gear and stuff. Renting the car. Yeah. And you're renting it for multiple days. So every day you're like, I'm out $120 or whatever.
I'm already budgeting for next. I have a Google Doc right here on my screen, and I want to do the Timberline Trail, which goes around Mount Hood of Oregon, and then go up to Mount Rainier Mount Rainier and do the Wonderland Trail. And I'm like, man, it's a 2-week thing basically. And I'm calculating all the expenses. I mean, you want to talk about a hobby that gets expensive? I think gardening may be cheaper. Maybe we should just be gardeners.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
the gardening podcast.
You garden, you make content, and then you sell the food, and that's how you feed the addiction of backpacking.
With a side of Jeremiah's plasma.
Yeah, the little side hustle. Let me ask you about one more thing before we get out of here.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have anything prepared or if anything's happened to you or a friend of yours or you've ever witnessed any crazy events, but let's wrap the show up with a little poop talk. My pants on that fiery gizzard trail a couple weeks ago. You got anything for me?
I don't know if my story's going to top last week's show, Jeremiah, because that was pretty good. I'm not going to lie. It seemed like you couldn't find a spot. I was like, why don't you just run back into the woods and go to the bathroom? I have one. And the good thing is, I don't know if it's good, but it's at a place that you're very familiar with, Gray's Arch, last year. Yes. So I'm at Gray's Arch, and it's funny because, like, looking back at the video, you'd be like, oh, this is when it happened. But so I hike out there. It's day 2. I'm like, all right, we're going to get this it's a beautiful morning, like crispy March, April day, whatever. I got the shot of Gray's Arch, and then I'm setting my tripod up, and I'm like, I'm going to get underneath the arch. There's nobody there. It's like 7:30 in the morning. I'm going to get this cool shot. It's probably my thumbnail. And it was my thumbnail. And then all of a sudden, oh, no. Yeah, poop. Yeah, that's what I said. I said, oh, no, poop is coming. I was like, I got to go. So I'm looking around. Of course, Gray's Arch. I mean, first of all, you can't dig a hole around there or anything. Like, it's a lot of rocks and sand, and you don't want to do that around the natural arches and stuff. So I'm thinking, all right, I'm just going to go. I got to go somewhere off trail. So I think if you're on the back side of it, I ran down, I guess, to the right. Okay, so I'm down there. I'm off trail. Here I go. Pulling down the pants, but I didn't go all the way. You know how you just have like your pants like halfway down? Like yeah. I didn't go all the way to the knee because I'm like, I was still in somewhat of and nobody could see me, but I don't have to. So here I go. I'm letting it go and everything's good. And then I start to pee and I forgot that you pee when you poop. Yeah. And so here comes pee all over my pants. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I had to, okay. So there's one mishap. So now I've got urine on me. Then I go and I'm like, all right. And I go to wipe and I think I got it all. And I pull up my pants and I had some, a drippage come down, a little extra, what we call that, a little extra dripping into my underpants as I'm pulling them up. And then so now we got 2 things. And then as I'm pulling them up, I step back into my own. Oh my gosh! So I had a triple whammy. It's a triple whammy. So now I have pee on me, I have poop on me, and on my shoe. Not fun. And let's just say I took one of my op sack, like the smelly proof bags. Uh-huh. I took my underwear off. And because I was wearing just some boxer briefs, and I put them in there. Those were ruined. My shoes I could clean off with the wipe. I had to see the Summit wipes. Yeah, I was so mad. I was so disappointed because when you have an accident like that, it takes you for me it feels like it takes a whole hour to make sure you're all sanitary. And I'm like, I just want to get back on the trail. I got 15 miles to do today. I got to get out to Double Arch or Silver Mine Arch. And I'm like, yeah, not fun. That's probably my one and only poop story, but I think it's a pretty good one.
Yeah, that was a pretty good one. And I got to tell you, you're not the only one that has experienced the pee-pee pants. As a guy, I have started most of the time. I'll do the one-legger. So you leave your pants and underwear. Yeah, the one-legger is what I call it.
The one-legger.
You leave your pants and underwear around one leg and you put it outside of that leg. So it's like a swivel. You swivel it over, and then after you clean yourself up, then you swivel it back over and step back.
This is a whole production. I haven't heard that. Okay.
Well, you all learn from my mistakes and Jamie's mistakes so that you don't make the same ones. Because
you got that extra step of what would you call that? Tucking it in, I guess. Yeah.
Well, I got to tell you from experience, you don't want the pee-pee pants. You don't want the poo-poo pants.
No. The pee was one. I was like, oh, shoot. Whatever, a little bit. And I was like, I can get over that. But when I thought I was fully done wiping, and then you go, and then and you're like, oh, there's some extra debris down there, and it gets on you, and then you're like, well, I'm gonna still pull them up halfway, and then I'll go over here and I fall back, and you're like, everything's going wrong at that point.
I totally agree, man. What a way to end the show. Jamie, it's been lovely having you on. You got
Thank you, Jeremiah.
YouTube, Jamie McCracken, and Instagram. What else do you got? What are the other avenues that people can find you online or follow your journey and support you?
I'm just so passionate about my YouTube channel, to be honest. I would love anybody to come over there. If you enjoy the content, I'm not trying to force people, but if they enjoy hiking, I do a lot of trip videos. I know that's not for everybody because a lot of people like gear, but what I try to do is, Jeremiah, I try to implement gear into my trip videos. So it's like, hey, I'm using my Z-Packs ARC call, so that way it gets implemented. But yeah, YouTube is great. Instagram is great. To message me, Instagram is great. And I post pictures of every trip on there and things I'm doing, but I really appreciate you having me on. This is so fun. I kind of hope that I can take, JK's job at some point. That's not, don't tell him that. I've never met him.
We'll look down the road. Yeah, this is twice that you've had the opportunity to meet JK and the paths haven't crossed. So we'll definitely get you connected for sure.
Thank you, Jeremiah. I'm really appreciative. Seriously, it was so fun, and I could hope to do this again.
Yeah, absolutely. And for everybody that joined us today live on the show, really appreciate you coming in. Comments were wonderful. Loved interacting with you.
Hey, good job to Jeremiah working the program, by the way. Good job.
Thank you. I'm total rookie when it comes to hosting. I'm more of the color commentary, I guess.
You did great.
But we made it through. We had fun. And for all the people that are listening, if you ever want to see the video version, you can check it out on Spotify or on YouTube and see our beautiful faces, or sometimes we share the screen like when we were talking about the waterfalls there. So yeah, you can get a better pulse on the podcast if you check us out on there. But I think that's all we got for today. So appreciate everybody joining us. And until next time, adios, folks.